The girl from Mabali village. Mabali village was a quiet place, far from the noise and dust of the city. People lived simple lives, farming, fetching water, and telling moonlight stories. Among them lived a young girl named Amara. She was known for her kindness, her smile, and the way she danced during village festivals. But what truly set her apart was her courage. Amara was an orphan raised by her grandmother, Mama Neka, who sold roasted maize by the roadside. Every morning, Amara would help her grandmother set up the stall before rushing to the small village school. Despite poverty, Amara was always first in her class. She had dreams, not just of leaving the village, but of changing it. Meanwhile, in Lagos City, there lived a billionaire named Kola Adewale. He was the youngest tech tycoon in Nigeria. Rich, powerful, and feared, Kola had built an empire from nothing. But he was cold-hearted, proud, and didn't believe in love. To him, women were just decorations, and people from villages worthless. Fate, however, had its own plans. One day, Kola visited Mabali for a land deal. He wanted to build a luxury resort in the peaceful village. The elders agreed, tempted by the millions he promised. But Amara stood up in the village meeting and said, "Our land is not for sale to a man who does not understand its soul." Kola was shocked. No one ever spoke to him like that. "Who is this village girl?" he asked. His assistant replied, "They call her Amara, the voice of the people." Instead of being angry, Kola became curious. Who was this girl with the fire in her eyes? The challenge of love. Kola returned to the village the next day, not with papers to sign, but with questions. He sought out Amara, who was fetching water from the stream. When he approached, she didn't bow or smile like others. She simply asked, "Do you think your money can buy everything?" Kola laughed for the first time in years. "Not everything. That's why I'm here. Teach me why this land means so much." And so, Amara did. She took him to the sacred baobab tree, told him stories of their ancestors, and showed him the graves of the warriors who defended Mabali. Each day, Kola returned, and each day, something in him changed. Amara, too, began to see another side of Kola. Behind the sharp suits and dark glasses was a lonely man. One evening, as they watched the sunset over the hills, Kola asked, "Why are you not afraid of me?" She replied softly, "Because I see the boy behind the billionaire." Days turned into weeks. Rumors spread that the village girl had captured the heart of the richest man in Nigeria. But not everyone was happy. Mama Neka warned Amara, "City men do not marry village girls. Be careful." One evening, Kola knelt before the whole village and asked Amara to come to Lagos with him. "Not as my guest," he said, "but as my queen." Amara looked into his eyes and said, "I will come, but on one condition. You must give Mabali a school, a clinic, and clean water, not as charity, but as your promise to protect what I love." Kola agreed. For the first time, love had changed the heart of a billionaire. From village roots to city heights, life in Lagos was different. Tall buildings, endless traffic, flashing cameras. Amara felt like a bird in a glass cage. But she remembered who she was, a girl from Mabali. She wore her African prints with pride, spoke her mother tongue in public, and cooked village food in Kola's mansion. Society laughed. The city elite called her the Bush Queen. But Kola defended her. "She's not just my wife, she's my compass," he told the press. Soon, Amara started a foundation called the Mabali Dream. She built schools in villages, sponsored girls' education, and became a voice for the forgotten. Women across the country saw her. as a symbol of hope. From village girl to city leader, Amara remained humble. One evening, during a grand gala, a reporter asked Kola, "What changed you?" Kola looked at Amara across the hall and replied, "I built empires with money, but she built me with love." Years later, when Mama Neka passed away peacefully, Amara returned to Mabali. She stood under the same baobab tree and smiled. The village had light, water, education, and hope. And there, with her husband beside her, she whispered, "This is the power of a girl with a voice, and a man willing to listen." The end. The fire that shook Lagos. Years passed, and Amara became more than just a wife. She was a leader. Her foundation expanded, reaching remote villages in Ghana, Kenya, and even South Sudan. But power attracts enemies. One night, while Kola was away at an international summit, their Lagos mansion was set ablaze. Amara barely escaped with her son, Chijoke, who was just 6. Smoke filled the sky. The media exploded with headlines, "Billionaire's wife survives assassination attempt." The police suspected a rival businessman, but Amara knew better. This wasn't just business, it was a warning. Someone didn't like the village girl changing the rules of the city. Kola returned the next morning, eyes burning with rage. "They tried to kill my queen," he shouted. But Amara held his hand and whispered, "Revenge won't protect us. But purpose will." So she made a decision that shocked everyone. She left Lagos. She returned to Mabali, not as a visitor, but as a protector. "If they burn what I built, I'll plant it again where my roots are deep," she told the press. And so, under the baobab tree where it all began, Amara started building Mabali Women's University. The return of the lioness. Mabali welcomed her like a queen. Drummers danced, old women ululated, and children sang her name. Amara walked barefoot through the village, remembering her childhood, the dusty roads, the taste of roasted maize, the sound of birds at dawn. But not everyone clapped. Chief Uduak, a greedy elder who once tried to sell village lands illegally, felt threatened. "This girl thinks she owns Mabali now," he grumbled. He and his allies began spreading rumors that Amara had abandoned her husband, that she was using the village for fame. But Amara didn't flinch. She held community meetings under the baobab tree, listened to women's stories, and made sure young girls had books, uniforms, and hope. She invited doctors from abroad to train local nurses. She paid farmers fair wages. Slowly, hearts softened. Kola visited every weekend, bringing supplies and staying in a small mud brick house with her, not the Lagos mansion. The people saw his humility, and respect grew. One day, a group of city journalists arrived, mocking Amara's simple lifestyle. One asked, "Why leave marble floors for mud walls?" Amara smiled and replied, "Because mud holds more truth than marble." The crown of the people. 7 years passed. Mabali was now the heart of innovation. The university produced doctors, engineers, and lawyers, all from villages. Women owned businesses, girls spoke on national radio, and the baobab tree became a symbol of strength. Amara, now called Mama Africa, was invited to speak at the United Nations. Dressed in her Ankara fabric, she walked onto the global stage and said, "Greater than, Africa doesn't need saving. It needs listening. We are not poor, we are rich in soul, in spirit, in story. Give our daughters books, not pity. Give our farmers tools, not charity. And watch how we rise, from roots to royalty." The hall erupted in applause. World leaders stood for her. She had become more than just Mabali's daughter, she was Africa's voice. And that night, Under the stars, back in the village, Amara told her son Chijoke, "Never forget where you come from. Your crown is not made of gold, it's made of dust, sweat, and love." He nodded and whispered, "I want to be like you." And with that, the legacy continued, from one generation to the next.